Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're taking a look at something maybe a bit niche, but really interesting: specialized control systems.
Yeah, specifically how you make something super complex like professional AV setups actually simple for, everyday users.
Exactly. We're diving into the product details for the WolfPadLite Spectrum Cable Box Tablet TV Control System. Quite a mouthful.
It is. And our mission for you listening in is to figure out how this thing, this $1,250 system, tackles the sheer information overload you find in places like sports bars.
Right, the technical barriers.
hmm And the immediate problem it solves, the hook, really, is getting rid of that physical frustration, juggling dozens of identical remotes for all those Spectrum
Oh,
boxes.
I can just picture the drawer full of them. Nightmare.
Totally. So this system is essentially an app, a visual interface on a tablet, and some clever hardware designed to control and route video signals, mainly Spectrum. But it also handles DISH and DirecTV, all from that one tablet.
Okay, $1,250. Let's break that down. What's the core frustration beyond just losing the remotes?
Well, it's not just the remotes themselves, it's the whole process of matrix switching. That's the technical term for sending any input, like a cable box, to any output, like a TV.
Like a switchboard operator for video feeds.
Pretty much. Imagine you've got maybe 16 cable boxes coming in and 36 TVs going out. You need a way to connect box 5 to TV 12 and box 9 to TVs 20 through 25 instantly.
And normally that's complicated.
Very. It usually means complex software or super expensive dedicated hardware. We're talking like potentially tens of thousands of dollars for traditional systems.
Okay, so this WolfPadLite thing claims to solve that big, expensive problem.
Mm.
But who's it actually for? You'd think it's for AV pros, right?
That's what's so interesting. The documentation explicitly says it's designed for users, a technical knowledge.
Really? Like who?
They list them right out. Sports bar owners, waitresses, hostesses, bartenders, even DJs. Basically, the people actually working the floor.
Not the IT guy in the back room.
Exactly. It's about empowering the staff who are dealing with customer requests right then and there.
That makes sense. It's more than just, oh, this is easy to use. It sounds like it affects how the business actually runs.
It absolutely does. It's about business continuity. They make this pretty bold claim that it improves employee morale.
I can see that.
Thus stress.
And ensures the owner will never be called at home just to explain how to change a channel. You make it easy, anyone can do it, the business keeps running smoothly.
So it democratizes the TV controls, in a way.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And it's not just sports bars. The list of places is pretty wide. Restaurants, bowling alleys, casinos, gyms, country clubs.
Anywhere with a bunch of screens needing different feeds.
Right. Centralized control without needing a centralized tech wizard.
Okay, we get the who and the why. Let's talk capability. How much can this Elite system actually handle? Because 36 TVs still sounds like a lot.
It's surprisingly capable for the price point. The core spec is any in to any out. It can manage signals from up to 16 Spectrum receivers specifically
16 sources.
and send them out to up to 36 TVs in any combination you want. That's, pretty serious capacity.
So how does the user actually control it? They're not juggling remotes, so what are they doing on the tablet?
They change the channels for the selected Spectrum box right there on the tablet screen. You basically pick which cable box you want to control.
Like tapping box 3.
Exactly. Then you use the channel up-down buttons on the tablet screen or punch in the channel number just like you would on the physical remote.
But how does the tablet command get to the actual cable box, especially if it's tucked away in an equipment rack somewhere?
Ah, that's the neat part. It uses IR infrared. The system has a central controller unit
Okay.
that receives the command from the tablet over Wi-Fi. Then it blasts the exact same IR code the original remote would have used.
How does it blast it?
Through little wired things called IR emitters. You stick one emitter right onto the front of each cable box's IR sensor. So the command goes tablet Wi-Fi controller, wire, TAC IR emitter, dash cable box.
Got it. So it's mimicking the physical remote, just doing it electronically from one place.
Precisely. It's a very reliable, old-school method in a way, but controlled via a modern interface.
And since it's app-based, you're not locked into one type of tablet.
Correct. The source says their proprietary app works on iPads, Fire tablets, Samsung, pretty much any standard Android tablet, whatever's cheapest or easiest for the business to get.
Which again fits that theme of accessibility and lowering the barrier to entry.
Totally. And the setup for the end user requires no programming knowledge. It's designed for one single purpose: control your video system from a tablet. That focus is what lets them keep it simple.
Let's zoom in on that tablet interface. The user experience has to be dead simple if waitstaff are using it mid-shift.
It seems like it is. They describe a single screen layout. You tap the source you want, say, box 5 for ESPN, and that button turns gray.
Okay, visual feedback.
Yeah. And then the buttons representing the TVs over on the right side, they also turn gray if they're currently showing that box 5 source.
So you instantly see where ESPN is playing.
Right. Then if you want to send box 5 to, say, PV17, you just tap the TV17 button. It connects, turns gray, simple point and click, or tap, really.
Okay, that sounds intuitive. But what if, it slams, someone's rushing, and they accidentally tap TV 18 instead of 17? Now the wrong game is on.
Ah, they thought of that. There's a crucial undo function built in. If you tap a grayed out TV button, meaning it's already connected to your selected source, it doesn't just disconnect it randomly.
What does it do?
It sends that TV back to whatever source it was showing before you tapped it.
Oh, that's smart. A one-tap oops button.
Exactly. Designed for speed and minimizing errors in a busy environment. Really crucial usability detail, I think.
Yeah, that shows they understand the pressure. And the actual controls for the cable box, like channel up, down, menu.
They're just right there on the left side of the same screen. Once you've selected a force, those buttons control that specific box, just like its physical remote.
Okay, seems straightforward. But now the big question. How do they do all this control up to 36 TVs, this simple interface, for only $1,250? Comparable systems cost, what, $10,000?
Sometimes more, yeah. The secret, or a big part of it, seems to be the hardware they use for the central controller.
What about it?
They use a modified, pre-owned Crestron rack mount controller.
Pre-owned, modified. Doesn't that sound a bit sketchy or complicated if the goal is simplicity?
It's definitely a trade-off, but a calculated one. See, Crestron makes high-end, extremely reliable automation hardware. This stuff is built like a tank, designed to run complex systems for years, even decades. It's American-built professional gear.
Okay.
So what WolfPadLite seems to be doing is taking this proven, robust, but maybe older generation Crestron processor, they call it the CP2E in the docks, which might be expensive new, but available pre-owned.
Right, like off-lease or refurbished.
Something like that. And they wipe it, then load their own custom single-purpose software onto it. It becomes the dedicated brain for just the WolfPadLite system.
So they leverage the reliability and cost-effectiveness of older enterprise hardware, give it a new, focused job, and pass the savings on.
Exactly. It's actually a pretty clever way to dramatically lower the cost compared to buying brand new proprietary control hardware.
Okay, that makes business sense. What does it mean physically? How big is this Crestron box?
It needs 3 U of rack height. For anyone not familiar, a U is a standard rack unit, about 1.75 inches. So 3 U is roughly 5¼ inches tall in your equipment rack. Pretty standard.
All right, so for $1,250, what's actually in the box when it arrives?
You get that modified Crestron CP2E controller with its power adapter. You get the license for their WolfPadLite tablet app and the proprietary control code loaded onto the processor.
Software side covered. What about connections?
You get up to 16 of those little IR emitter cables we talked about for controlling the cable boxes, and you get a 6-foot male-to-male RS-232 serial cable.
RS-232, that sounds old school.
It is, but it's a standard, reliable way for control systems to talk to other hardware. That cable connects the Crestron brain to the actual HDMI matrix switch to the box that does the physical video routing.
Ah, so the user needs to buy that HDMI matrix switch separately. The WolfPadLite is just the control system.
Correct. The WolfPadLite tells the separate Wolfpack HDMI matrix, which they also sell, presumably, what connections to make. That RS-232 cable is the communication link between the control brain and the video switching muscle.
Got it. And there was something about a cloud customizer.
Yeah, they mention a cloud-based customizer device is involved, likely for the initial programming or updates, and that specific piece comes with a 5-year warranty, which is pretty good.
Okay, logistics. How does this connect? Does it need its own dedicated Wi-Fi? That could be another headache.
Nope, that's a plus. They explicitly say no dedicated Wi-Fi is needed. The tablet just connects to the Crestron controller over the existing guest Wi-Fi network.
Okay, that simplifies installation quite a bit. And loading the actual control program onto the tablet.
For smaller systems, ones that fit on a single page in the app, the program is apparently stored right on that Crestron CP2E processor. You install the app, connect to Wi-Fi, and it just transfers over. Sounds pretty straightforward.
But for bigger systems?
Larger systems might need remote loading via their customizer tool. And before any setup, they need info from the buyer. What you want to name each input, like Box 1 ESPN, Box 2 local news. And crucially, the exact model numbers of your cable boxes so the system knows which IR codes to use.
That makes sense. But here comes what sounds like a major catch, right? Something about shipping iPads.
Yeah, this seems like the biggest friction point in this simple setup story. Unless the buyer purchases an additional controller specifically for remote setup, if you want them to configure your iPads for you, you physically have to mail your iPads to them.
Wait, really? Ship the tablets back and forth? That seems
Yeah.
clunky, especially for a system pitched at non-technical users.
It does. It feels like a necessary compromise driven by using that pre-owned, reprogrammed hardware. Setting up Crestron systems usually requires specialized tools and knowledge, so maybe this is their way of handling that initial configuration without requiring an on-site programmer. But yeah, it adds a logistical hurdle.
They do try to smooth things over with some buyer-friendly policies, though, which you don't always see with commercial gear.
True. They offer free shipping, which is nice.
Hmm.
And a 60-day return policy with a free return label. That's pretty generous.
And no restocking fee. That's a big one. Those fees can be hefty.
Definitely consumer-friendly terms, and maybe the biggest financial plus in the long run. No monthly fees, no yearly fees, no license renewals, no subscriptions.
A one-and-done purchase price.
Exactly. That's a huge draw compared to many modern software or cloud-based control systems that lock you into ongoing payments. The lifetime cost is just that initial $12,250 plus the tablet and the HDMI matrix.
Okay, this sounds almost too good to be true for the price. High capacity, using reliable if older hardware, simple interface, no recurring fees. What's the fundamental catch? The big operational trade-off.
There is one, and it's critical. It's buried a bit in the Q&A on their site, but it's fundamentally a single-user system.
Single user. What does that mean in practice? Only one tablet can have the app.
Not quite. You can have the app on multiple tablets, but only one user can effectively send commands at any given time.
So if two bartenders grab their tablets and try to change different TVs simultaneously, chaos.
Pretty much. The central Crestron brain, the CP2E, can only process one command stream at a time. If it gets conflicting commands from two tablets at once, it'll likely get confused, freeze, or only partially execute things.
Wow. Okay, that fundamentally changes how you'd use it in a busy place like a sports bar.
Absolutely. It means you can't have multiple staff members controlling different zones independently at the same exact moment. There has to be a workflow, maybe one designated control tablet, or staff need to coordinate.
The documentation says others can see what the first user is doing.
Yeah, so if I'm changing TV5, you might see that happening on your tablet, which tells you to wait. But still, you have to wait your turn. It imposes a kind of bottleneck.
So that single user limitation is the key compromise for achieving that low price point and simplicity.
It seems to be. They've essentially saved thousands of dollars compared to a multi-user capable system by accepting this operational constraint. The buyer trades simultaneous control for affordability and basic ease of use.
When you frame it like that, it makes perfect sense. The WolfPadLite isn't trying to be a high-end Crestron or Control4 system. It's a targeted solution.
Exactly. It's a highly specific answer to a common, messy problem in commercial AV. It cleverly marries new, simple tablet software with cost-effective, reliable legacy hardware.
It solves the 36 TV, 16 remote nightmare for businesses that can live with a single-user workflow.
Right. Professional-grade capacity, entry-level price, with one key operational rule you have to follow.
It really is a fascinating example of value engineering. So that brings us to our final thought for you, the listener. Given how effective a specialized focused system like this WolfPadLite can be prioritizing simplicity, single use, and low cost, does it make you question the need for those big, complex, super customizable, and very expensive control platforms for every situation?
Especially for applications that really only do one thing, like controlling TVs in a bar.
Right. Is the future maybe more about these kinds of highly focused, super accessible, single-purpose interfaces rather than the all-singing, all-dancing expensive systems?
Something to think about next time you're asking someone to change the channel or maybe waiting for them to finish using the main control tablet.
We'll leave you with that thought. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.
Catch you next time.